Good afternoon. This is JazzProfileTV.com. And first of all, I'd like to thank Slim Williams for letting us shoot in his studio in the Fire Building in Old Montreal. That was really very nice of Slim to let us do this interview here. And of course, I want to say hello to Chris Robb.
What's going on?
Piano player for the Stars.
Yes, indeed. How you doing,
And it's
bro?
good to be here, man. Good to be here with you. And I hope you enjoy Montreal and the festival and the activities. My first question is this. What is your musical background? What were your influences and how did you start? You know, what were the things that got you into playing the keyboards?
I started out playing music. My mother was a piano teacher, and basically she started me out playing. My father also taught me as well, but my mother is a amazing instrumentalist, and she started me out playing when I was about 5 years old, and she started training me by ear, started playing, reading, having me read classical music, and basically it just kept on going, kept on building. I started taking it seriously. I think more so in high school is when I realized that I had a little something special, and I just kept on pursuing it. That's when I started playing jazz music and started playing like everything I could get my hands on, I was listening to hip hop at the time and listening to a lot of like James Brown and Prince and stuff like that. And so I just started gravitating at just trying to put all that in music. So I had so many different people I was studying, like, Herbie Hancock, McCoy Tyner, Ahmad Jamal, and then, like I said, Prince and Stevie Wonder and Bernie Worrell and people like that. So it just kept on just getting more and more, serious. I started playing in jazz clubs when I was about 13 or 14 years old. And, it's crazy when you have a passion for something and people are realizing it and they're pushing you. And
That's right.
I just knew it was just, something that I could see going a long way. And so I just kept on
doing
with it.
And you're originally from Chicago, is that correct?
That's correct.
And make your home in New York City, Crown Heights, Brooklyn?
Yeah, Brooklyn. I did a lot of moving around.
The Heights.
I did a lot of moving around before I settled there, but yeah, I've been there for like a minute now.
Now, in terms of your professional music career, give us a little bit of background of who you worked with and the experiences that you've had.
I've worked with quite a few heads across the hip hop and R&B and jazz worlds. I played with Stevie Wonder, Anita Baker, George Benson. I toured with John Legend for several years. Worked with Kanye West. Worked with Talib Kweli a lot. Great, brilliant MC. I'm currently touring with Roberta Flack. Quite a few people. The list always kind of leaves.
I'm going to say something. Don't take this the wrong way, but somebody said it to me once, and I was like, You swing both ways. You can play jazz, and you can play R&B, and you can play hip-hop. That's really, I think that just opens up a lot more opportunities as a musician to be able to handle those three different types of music. There is a common thread that links all of them, but they have their own individual flavors. Am I correct?
Yeah, but it's all connected in a way. You know what I'm saying? I feel like all music is connected. Like all the artists who I really appreciate. My favorite, like you take like Stevie or Marvin. They ventured down not just funk, and they ventured down Latin and soul, classical. And even hip hop, so there's joints with Stevie, the rhymes at the end of Do I Do, or Marvin the rhymes on Ego Tripping, as in addition to playing piano, I do I sing in my show, I rhyme in my show, and I just feel like just like the ultimate entertainers, I grew up on seeing like the ultimate entertainers and really being drawn to like Prince and Michael Jackson, Sammy Davis. I even saw Sammy Davis, when I was a kid. Yeah. I saw him, that was like one of the first shows I saw. I was a little kid, my godparents took me to see him. And they always, they tried whatever. They saw the art in and the people who inspired them and say, I want to do that too. And I'm the same way. You know, I see MCs do that thing. I'm like, I want to do that too. I see people playing keys. I want to do that too. I'm playing guitar. I want to do that. I want to sing. I want to do. And so I do that. I mean, because it's life. You got to do what you feel.
You got to do what
you
feel.
You got to live, and you only live once, and you got to do it all.
Okay, wonderful. You were John Legend's music director, is that correct?
Yeah, I directed music with John. Yeah.
Who else? Have you been a music director for anyone else? Done any of the artists out here?
I'm doing. It's been quite. It's kind of wild, you know. I've done it in some kind of capacity, and whether or not I had a title, you know, for it, if I was the official person, but I always kind of end up doing some kind of music direction.
Okay,
for almost for most people I play with, you know, it's because I think I always bring different ideas to the table, and a lot of times you'll end up in situations where a band is just kind of put together, and there is no official MD.
You
know, somebody calls you up.
Somebody's got to take over that leadership capacity.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
That's
so
excellent.
Not in all circumstances, but definitely in a lot of circumstances, I've ended up, you know, directing the music.
How did you get into that upper echelon mix of stars to be called? That's a very, you know, there's a lot of people that are striving to get where you've been. Were you recommended to? Did you get those positions through recommendations, or did you have to audition?
Yeah, you know, I've never really auditioned for anything, in terms of auditioning for these different people. I've always been calls.
Calls.
You know what I'm saying? Like I just got a call. Out the blue.
You got it like that.
I mean, you know, I guess so. Like, I don't know. It's just been, you know, you do your thing when you put your heart into something. You're not really. My thing is, I don't take any stage. I don't take it lightly. I've never looked at a stage or came to any musical situation and been like, oh, this is God. It was like, what am I doing? Whatever. And so it's always, you never know who's watching.
Yeah, you never know. That's
you
right.
You never know who's watching. And
well, that's that's really interesting that you say that, because that's a real New York attitude. You know, I was talking to some younger musicians last night, and musicians that come out of certain logistical areas in the state, Chicago, New York, we have like this attitude. You know, when we go on stage, it's like, don't start nothing up here. You know, we come up here to take care of business.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I call it a positive, aggressive musical attitude. We playing like this. We may not even wake up tomorrow morning, so we got to play this gig like that.
Word. Yeah.
And is that the attitude you have?
I think coming from Chicago to New York, and becoming a New Yorker, New York is such a challenging place.
Yes.
It takes you through like such an obstacle course, you know what I'm saying,
That's
of
right.
life.
That's right.
And so by the time you might be walking to a gig and you don't have any money, you don't know how you're getting home, you don't know how you're gonna eat. So all you got is this gig. You know what I'm saying? The gig might be paying like $15-$20. You don't know, you know, whatever. You go through this thing as you're on the come up, and so that becomes all you have in a sense.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So you put it all into the music. You know what I'm saying? And whatever comes out is what comes out.
We used to say, the next one is waiting, so we got to get this one. Yeah, the next person is waiting right on my shoulder. So this is my gig right now.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it is. That's how it is in New York.
Yeah, it's a lot of crazy. The cream of the crop.
Yeah, the cream of the crop is coming out of New York. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Now, in terms of festivals, I mean, you're part of this Montreal International Jazz Festival. What other festivals have you done, and what do you like about the other festivals? I mean, not to compare, but each festival has its own flavor. You know, what have you noticed about different festivals? Have you done any like St. Lucia Festival or any things like that at Caribbean? Or mostly?
Man, you know what's funny is that I because I'm so involved in so many different worlds of music. My brother, it does comedy.
Yeah, we got to talk about that in a minute too.
Yeah, so I've done a lot, but I've played in a lot of different festivals. I think probably my favorite one is this one they do in Indonesia. I can't recall the name of it right now. Oh my God, I can't. It's Java Jazz Fest.
Okay, Java Jazz Fest.
But yeah, that's probably one of my favorite ones because you get to really rub elbows with everybody. Yeah. Like everybody's in a whole. There's like no segregation. Like they put everybody in the same hotel. Yeah. There's a jam session, and so George Benson or Stevie Wonder or Santana or whoever's in that, whatever, they'll link you up with, come up, jazz artists on the come up. I work a lot with a friend of mine, Maurice Brown from Chicago, a crazy trumpet player, and we have done like I don't know the names.
Does he play with the Spirit Ensemble? The Spirit.
He's worked with the Art Ensemble out of Chicago.
Okay.
He has
Art
worked
Ensemble.
with them.
Okay.
But I've done probably every kind of major festival, right? You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily as a solo artist, but I've played, like probably every major festival in the United States that you can play. But as a solo artist, this is where I'm more emerging now and becoming more on the scene and doing my thing as a solo artist.
Now, you come out of a talented family. Mother played piano, taught you. Tell us about your brother. There's another one of the Robs that is doing something really nice.
Craig Robinson is my brother. He's a brilliant comedian and actor, as well as musician. And we do a project. His band is called The Nasty Delicious, and we do. We actually last time I came to Montreal, we came here for the Just for Laughs festival, and yeah, he's just a genius, that's on any part. I put him
what's the name of the show that your brother's on?
He's on The Office.
He's on The Office.
He's on The Office. He's been a lot of, he's got a nice little lineup of motion pictures he's been in now. So, yeah, he's killing.
Growing up as a musician, you've listened to a lot of people, got a lot of ideas. How would you describe your style?
My style of playing comes from so many different walks of life. You know what I'm saying? So many different people who influenced me. Herbie and probably McCoy Tyner were the first two people who I really kind of really studied a lot. Ramsey Lewis as well. But as I grew up more, you know what I'm saying, I started listening to a lot of so many different things, from James Brown to Parliament, Funkadelic, and like hip hop music. So that all is part of it. Thelonious Monk. It's just a hybrid of different things. Jimi Hendrix as well. So because I don't believe in trying to play like okay, let me play these lines like this person. Like it's what I'm feeling. If I'm feeling rock and roll, well, we're playing a jazz song, I'm gonna play rock and roll over it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm feeling like hip hop over a jazz standard, I'm gonna play hip hop over it. I don't really try to say, oh, this is what's appropriate. That's not jazz.
Yeah, that's not
jazz.
jazz.
If Thelonious Monk had done that, or like you wouldn't if he had played like everybody, if he had played like Duke Ellington, or whoever be no Thelonious Monk.
That's
and
right.
So Chris Rob is Chris Rob.
Chris Rob is Chris Rob. You play, you're in the moment, basically. You play what you feel like playing in that moment.
Yes.
That's a mark of a true artist, because I had a conversation with someone else about that same situation, and they were saying that, a lot of universities, they try to like really mathematically analyze what everybody's playing. This is a augmented ninth and this, that, and the other. But when these artists like Thelonious and Herbie played, they didn't sit down and map out what they were going to play. They just played straight from here.
Right.
And I'm glad you brought that out, that even though you've been influenced by a lot of musicians throughout your musical tenure, that you've just play what you feel, and that's the key.
Yeah.
Chris Rob,
My pleasure.
My brother, it's a pleasure. It was a pleasure listening to you last night at Jello Bar. You really brought a new flavor up here in Montreal, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate your presence, and keep rock. I'm looking out for the Chris. I'm looking out for the Chris Rob project next.
Yeah.
That's going to be the next one. And
It's out there.
It's out there.
You just gotta go to chrisrobmusic.com.
It's out there.
There's a lot of music out there that I've done already.
Beautiful.
But it's coming into more light right now. So
okay, excellent.
I'm riding into it.
Well, for our jazzprofiletv.com people, Chris Rob, check him out. He's the next one. The next one.
Respect. Thank you.
All right.